Hey DDN, there seems to be some confusion in the fusion circuit about what z-scores are, why we need them, and what they mean, so I made this short video to explain. Let's begin with a quick example. You just took an exam in a class, and you got your score back out of 100. You got 93. That's awesome, you probably got an A. But then later you find out that the class average was a 97. Ah, not so good. There goes your A. See, you never cared about what the number was out of 100. You only cared how much higher than average you were. You only cared if you got an A, B, or a C. Like you guys have all experienced in college, to some professors, an A is a 90 out of 100, but to some particularly brutal professors, an A could be as low as a 75. When no one agrees on what a passing grade is, adding the scores together is like adding apples and oranges. The problem is, with raw scores out of 100 in these competitions, you need to wait until you know what the average is to know if your score total was good, bad, or just okay. This is exactly what the z-score system is designed to fix. With the z-score system, you don't need to ask what the competition average was. I'm telling you right now, in this system, the competition average is defined as 0. If your z-score is a positive number above 0, you're better than average. If your z-score is negative, you did below average, and if your z-score is really close to 0, you were right in the middle of the competition. In addition, the system is balanced, meaning that if you got a positive score, you can be certain someone else got a negative score to even it out. So, suppose you have 3 judges and they all give you a 70. But one judge had an average of 50, one judge had an average of 75, and another had an average of 90. See, the 70 out of 100 means entirely different things to each of them. That can get in the way of understanding what your score means, so the z-score helps fix that. Creating the z-score is simple and has 2 steps. First, you find every judge's average. Like we talked about before, we want to know how they've internally ranked you all. Some judges are optimists, with high averages, and some are downright pessimists and hate everything they see. This brings everything back to the center, so step 1 is to subtract every judge's average from the scores. Next, we want to find out every judge's standard deviation. Now the reasoning behind this is a little bit more sinister. Technically, it's not a terrible estimation of the correct winners of a competition if everyone truly ranked their teams from 0 to 100, but everyone's human and everyone's biased. Standard deviation is a good measure of how wide each judge is scoring. If a judge scores are wide as they could have all the power when it comes to deciding the victory. So step 2 is to divide step 1 by each judge's standard deviation, bringing the biased judges back to earth and placing everyone on the same scale. So there you have it, the conversion from raw scores to z-scores. You make the average equal to 0 so it's understood from the beginning, and you divide by the standard deviation so each judge has equal power. Let's design a simple competition as an example. I want you to imagine that we have 3 judges with very different backgrounds, and just for fun, let's pick 3 teams that sorta don't exist anymore. Let's go with USP The Mall, Drexel Doom, and Temple Musty. Let's keep life simple and say the rubric is out of 10 points total. So this first guy gives USP a 2, he gives Drexel a 4, and Temple a 3. Pretty even scores, seems like a consistent judge. Then the next guy gives USP a 6, Drexel a 4, and Temple a 2. Also a consistent judge, but a little bit wider of a score range. This next judge, though, is just the worst. They have an unfair bias towards Temple Musty, but no one on board knows it. And so they give USP a 3, Drexel a 2, and gives Temple a perfect 10 out of 10. So let's see how this pans out. You add them all up, USP gets an 11, Drexel gets a 10, and Temple gets 15, which makes Temple the winner. Now the teams won't get to see all these details because they rarely get the super detailed score sheet with all the subcategories, but you and I both know that the third judge pretty much decided who's going to win this competition, and that isn't fair. But if we normalize and use the z-score system, I'm going to skip the math here, but you'll find that when you apply the formula, we get -1, 1, and 0 for the first judge, 1, 0, and -1 for the second judge, and -0.46, -0.69, and 1.15 for the third judge. So now we add them up, and we find that USP gets -0.46, Drexel gets 0.31, and Temple gets 0.15. And now we see that the placings are totally different, with Drexel in first place. Remember how I said the system is balanced? You can add up all the scores for yourself and you see that it all sums to 0, which means that any positive value given to one team is taken from another. The z-score system is designed to protect you from incorrect adding of scores, but especially designed to prevent judge bias from completely throwing off the winners. Is it perfect? No, but this is as far as the mathematics will get you. For the rest, you just need better judges. Until next time, DDN, happy Thanksgiving.